Hello there and welcome! Today we are taking a full look at the Funwares Ringstrike. First off, I do want to say that Funwares did send me this Ringstrike free of charge. But of course, I will be reviewing this just like I review any other product and will report any negative attributes I find. On the box, we see that it's claiming ranges of up to 200 feet. It is a 29-inch bow. It includes 4 whistling arrows and it is 14 and up. Let's get right into it. Included in the box, we have the Ringstrike, which comes in a lot of pieces, so some assembly is required. We get 4 arrows and the instructions. So assembly seems pretty simple. Now you get 2 arms. The one that says Funwares goes on the bottom. So we're going to take that. It is the handle side. And that just snaps in, and that is permanent once it is in. And then we are, of course, going to do the exact same thing with the top one that does not say Funwares. Now that the arms are attached, we're going to take this arrow holder and put it on the top. This piece seems more optional and is removable. And now we are actually fully assembled. I was briefly confused about these, but they're actually extra string. So if these snap, in a year or two, you can actually replace them, and they actually have a little tutorial in the instructions on how to do that. And that is super cool because with bows like these, the longevity of the strings is often the most questionable aspect. Now, like I said earlier, it does include 4 of these arrows, and this arrow holder holds 4. I would have liked to see a couple more arrows included in the box, but it's not the biggest deal. Unfortunately, the grip could definitely be a bit better. It's probably good enough, but the back is definitely pretty squared off, and I would have preferred to have that more rounded. Firing is pretty simple. We grab one of our arrows, we're going to knock it in, and release. Wow, maybe I shouldn't do that again. That is some damage. I am definitely really glad I got that on camera. Obviously, the Ringstrike seems incredibly powerful, but let's take this thing outside, grab some chronograph data, and see if it gets those 200-foot ranges. We're about to get some numbers with the Ringstrike. Now, keep in mind that we can only compare these numbers to other blasters that fire this kind of projectile. I guess not blasters, similar bows that fire this kind of ammo. 88. 96. 88. 94. I don't think I've put a similar bow over the chronograph yet, but those numbers seem pretty solid. Now let's see what kind of ranges we get. I have 200 feet marked. Wow. Here we have our first one at about 142 feet. Here's another one at about 150 feet. Here's the third one at about 157 feet. Then finally, here we have the furthest one that reached 185 feet. While I didn't get 200 feet in my initial testing of this thing, I strongly feel that with the power this thing's capable of, you could probably get it up to 200 feet with more practice. So what are my final thoughts on the Funwares Ringstrike? Overall, for the most part, I think the Ringstrike is very well executed. This is pretty different compared to a lot of what I look at on the channel, but this thing has been an absolute blast to use. And in my opinion, this rear arrow design is much nicer than a lot of the Zing arrows I've seen. It makes it very easy to grab the arrow and fire it quickly. Now, I wouldn't actually recommend firing this at other people. It seems to put out a lot of velocity considering the size and weight of this projectile. But for target shooting or plinking, I think this thing is awesome. And personally, I'm always a fan of whistling projectiles. So yeah, my thoughts on the Funwares Ringstrike are positive. If you're interested, these can be found on Amazon in multiple different colors. Thank you very much for watching. I would love to hear your thoughts on the Funwares Ringstrike, and happy blasting.